Philosophy of Mind, Exam 1, Study Guide. What is the mind? The mind is the set of mental states and activities, like thoughts and beliefs. It includes everything involved in thinking and experiencing. What is the body? The body is physical stuff. Anything that exists in space has mass and follows physical laws. What is the mind-body problem? How is the mind related to the body? What is a substance? A substance is a basic kind of thing that exists independently. For examples, physical objects are physical substances. Dualists think that the soul is a mental substance. What is a substance dualist? Substance dualism is the view that there are two different kinds of substances: physical substances, such as the body and brain, mental substances, such as the soul or mind. What is materialism? Materialism is the view that everything that exists is physical. The mind is either the brain or something fully explained by the brain. Why is perspectivical relativity a reason to think sensory qualities are in the mind? Because how things look depends on the observer. Example, a table looks small or large depending on distance. 2 reasons to think sensory qualities are not in the material world. One would be illusions and hallucinations. You can see colors or shapes that aren't really there. And the scientific description of matter. Physicists describe matter in terms of mass, charge, motion. Argument from sensory qualities for substance dualism. Sensory qualities are not physical. We experience sensory qualities, therefore part of us is not physical. So some substance dualism is true. Descartes' conceivability argument. He argues that I can clearly conceive of myself existing without my body. If I can clearly conceive of something separately, it can exist separately. Therefore, the mind can exist without the body, so mind and body are different substances. Why does Elizabeth think that the immaterial cannot affect the material? She argued that physical things move only by physical contact or force, and a material soul has no location, mass, physical properties. So how could it push or move something physical? What is the causal closure of the physical? It is every physical event has a sufficient physical cause. What is the interaction problem? The interaction problem asks how can two completely different kinds of substances cause effects in each other? Arguments from irreducibility. Mental states cannot be reduced to physical states. If something cannot be reduced to physical, it must not be physical. Therefore, the mind is not physical. What is Occam's razor? Do not multiply entities beyond necessary. In simple terms, choose the simplest explanation. Why does Churchland think Occam's razor supports materialism? Materialism says only physical stuff exists. Dualism says physical stuff plus non-physical souls exist. Materialism is simpler. Why does Churchland think dualism has less explanatory power? Because it doesn't explain brain damage, changing mood personalities, drugs affecting mood, mental illnesses. Materialism explains these better using neuroscience. Argument from neural dependence. Mental states depend heavily on brain states. Brain damage changes thoughts and personality, therefore the mind depends on the brain, so no independent soul. To resist this, dualists might say that the soul uses the brain like a tool. Argument from evolution. Humans evolved from simpler organisms. Evolution explains physical traits. At what point would a soul appear? It seems strange to think souls suddenly enter during evolution. Unity argument for dualism. Our experiences